Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, and greetings with peace, my dear listeners, my dear sisters and brothers of other mothers. You are listening to Ramadan Radio on 87.9 FM, and we are on live ramadanradio.org and on Facebook and YouTube. My dear sisters and brothers of other mothers, you are listening to the Mindset Show with your host, coach and trainer of NLP and hypnosis, Mubashir Latif. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for listening. Those that are joining for the first time, thank you so much. Those that are continuously listening, and thank you to you as well, my dear respected listeners. So we are on the last day of Ramadan, what seems as the last day of this blessed month. You know, it's only yesterday we were starting and we were greeting this month, greeting the opening of this month. And now, you know, very, very quickly, 4 weeks have passed. Where have they gone? Ask yourself, right? So, what are we discussing today on the Mindset Show? It's the last and final one for Ramadan for this year, right? For this blessed month, inshallah. And let's look at what's happened in the past week and this week as well, of things that have been happening, some major things that are happening around the world. We've had in the past week or so, we've had a lot of COVID deaths, a very large number in India. So our prayers go out to them. And recently they've been hit with a landslide as well, and so forth. So our prayers go to them. We've also seen in the past few days, things that have heightened in Palestine, and our heart goes out to them. You know, wherever in the world people are being impacted, right, in any shape or form, right, be it from their faith or religious perspective, be it from their health, be it in their wealth, be it in whatever aspect, people are being impacted left, right, center in some way or another, right? It could be political, it could be war, it could be health with the COVID, it could be anything. And it brings us to something very special, because we are now at the end of this blessed month of Ramadan, the month of fasting, the month where we have had that opportunity to really build ourselves spiritually. Because when you build yourself spiritually, right, the spiritual aspect of the human being is a very, very strong pillar. Right? It's a central pillar of the individual. It's a central pillar of their well-being and of their health and of their mental well-being, right? In all aspects. Because when you build on the spiritual pillar of the individual, because the spiritual pillar is highly imperative. Why is it so? Many personal development gurus, right? They talk about working towards your greater purpose in life. And your greater purpose in life, they say, is working towards serving others and impacting others, which is very, very spiritual, right? Which is a spiritual purpose, spiritual meaning of life. A famous quote by the late boxer Muhammad Ali, something along the lines of, the service you provide to others is the rent you pay for being on this world or being in this planet. The service you provide to others or the service you offer. So how you serve others is the rent you pay for being on this planet, right? Because it's not a matter of just taking. It's a matter of giving. And the highest level of giving, the highest level of serving is a high level of spirituality. Because if you look at anyone who you see as spiritual, right? Any role model you see in your faith, in your religion, in your culture, even if you're not a Muslim, anyone who you look at who is spiritual. One of the greatest characteristics of any spiritual person is to give. And if you look at wealthy people, successful people, right? The service you do for others is the rent you pay for your room here on earth. That's a quote Muhammad Ali, right? I've just had the back end just message at me in the chat. right? The support. What would I do without them? So let's just read that again and recap the exact wording of that. The service you do for others is the rent you pay for your room here on earth. The quote by the late boxer Muhammad Ali, right? May he rest in peace. So service to others, my dear listeners, is absolutely imperative because this is the highest level of spirituality. Even in coaching, we have different level of needs. Excuse me. You have different level of needs, like you have your physical human needs, right? Which are your food, drink, survival, intimacy, etc. You have your other needs, such as your food and your shelter. You have other needs as satisfaction from things. You have other needs as, you need to have that holiday, or you need that job, that better job, or that career advancement, or that business growth, right? Or you're improving in your health massively. And you have different needs, a different level of needs. Yet the highest level of need, or the highest level of purpose and change, is where you change spiritually, because the spiritual pillar of the individual is the central pillar of the individual. And when your spiritual pillar is intact, then the rest of you is also intact. And it brings us on to something else, my dear listeners. And just to add, I forgot to just to add in the phone number for the studio. If you want to add in any questions, queries, comments, anything around this topic, or anything else around mindset, the phone number is 077 614 60614. That's 077 614 60614. So please send in your questions, comments, queries, etc. So the highest level, the need is spirituality, because when your spirituality is in balance, your health is more improved automatically. When you spiritually connect, your health is improved. Your mental health is improved. Your physical health is improved. Your emotional health and well-being is improved, right? How is that so, you may ask? Because when you connect with the spiritual higher purpose in life, for some of you, or many of you, in this month of Ramadan, it will be God and your creator. For others, it may be the universe. For others, it may be the law of attraction. For others, it may be something else. For others, it may be a higher purpose or higher being, right? Whatever you term from your faith, culture, or religion, or your belief, right? Because I know this show is going out to many people of different diverse backgrounds, cultures, and religions, right? So whatever your faith, culture, or belief, everyone has some sort of belief that there is something, spiritual, something greater, or they have a concept or an element of what they term as a spiritual, being spiritual, right? Even if they are someone that don't believe God, right? They still believe in that someone, or they believe in whatever God they believe in, full respect to them. But regardless, whatever you believe, my dear listeners, my dear sisters and brothers of other mothers, you have a belief of being spiritual. You have an element, you have a concept of being spiritual. Excuse me. And when you are spiritual, you understand that your body is in harmony, your body is peaceful, your mind is at peace, right? And when you are at peace, when your mind and body are at peace, then automatically your body will start functioning more normally, and it will automatically be at peace. Right? This is a power of the spiritual aspect, of enhancing that spiritual aspect. And it brings us something to tie in something nicely the rest of this week, what we have coming. This whole week, starting on the 10th of May, starting Monday the 10th of May until Sunday the 17th of May, is National Mental Health Awareness Week in the UK, right? Every year we have this week in May, which is Mental Health Awareness Week, raising awareness of mental health. Not that we haven't had, we've had a great deal of awareness of mental health this entire year because of the lockdown, the global pandemic, the year that the world has stopped. We have had more impact on our mental health and more greater awareness to the forefront of our mental health than any ever time in history, probably in the modern times. Why? Because our life has been completely altered and stopped and put on hold and put upside and turned upside down. You know, when those that are used to going out have had to stay at home. Those that are used to going to work, they've had to work from home and work around it. Even children have been at home, right, for much part of the year. Yet, at the same time, a lot of people have been infected, right? A lot of people have been infected by the COVID virus pandemic. And a lot of people have sadly lost their lives, right? All over the UK and worldwide. Yet almost it's safe to say that almost every person on the planet has been impacted by, in some way or another, by the pandemic. Not infected, but impacted. And as a result, it has impacted our mental health, for sure. It has impacted your mental health, for sure. Guaranteed, right? Even if you're not aware that it has, it has. Even if you don't recognize it, then it's most likely in some shape or form, at some level, it has. Whether it's a completely mild level or it's a major level. At some point or another, everyone has had their mental health impacted in some way or another. And that's totally okay. It's totally okay because it's totally normal, right? Because having challenges in your mental health, my dear listeners, my dear sisters and brothers of other mothers, is totally, totally normal. Because every person on the planet, from their first breath to their last breath on that planet, however long they live, will have some point or another at several points in their life challenges in their mental health. And unfortunately, in our communities, and I don't just mean in a Muslim community or in an Asian community or my background, I mean in absolutely any communities, in English communities, African communities, Chinese communities, Arab communities, Bengali communities, Indian communities, whatever faith, religion, culture, background you are, there is a major, major taboo and a stigma. There is an element of major taboo and stigma of mental health in all communities, right? In all communities, there is a major aspect, major taboo, a major stigma of mental health. Yet let us realize and be aware that we so confidently and without a second thought, we will share our physical health issues, whether we're standing at the bus stop, whether we're at the doctor's, whether we're in the supermarket, even with a stranger or family, friends or relatives, we will share our physical health issues. I've got diabetes, I've got cholesterol, I've got, as I'm overweight, I've got this, I've got that, or I've got other health issues, X, Y, Z. Not everyone will share it with everyone. And not some people, and some people, but there's always going to be a lot of people will find it comfortable to share their physical health issues, more comfortable than our mental health issues. More comfortable than your mental health issues, you are at ease to share your physical health issues. Ask yourself why. Why is that? Because there's absolutely nothing wrong with having challenges or issues in your mental health. Absolutely not. Right? Because your mental, your mind, your emotions are part of you. They are part of your body, just as your physical body is part of you, and you openly share and discuss your physical health issues. Or it's easier to discuss your physical health issues, but your mental health issues, we don't. We hold back. We hold back on the reins. We hold back on the wheel. We hold back on the pedal. We take our foot off the pedal and we slow down. We're like, hold on a second. You do not want to be telling anyone about your mental health issues. No, 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 no. Why? Because What will they say? What will uncle and auntie say? What will mum and dad say? What will your siblings say? What will your cousins say? What will your friends say? What will everyone say at school? They're going to make fun of you. What will all your work colleagues say? What will your boss say? What will your other colleagues, your other fellow employees say? What will your training partner say? What will your gym buddy say? What will the shopkeeper think? What will they all think? What will they say? Oh my gosh, if it gets out, what are people going to say? It's all going to be out there and people are going to talk and they're all going to know and they're all going to, what they're going to do? Point fingers. You, you, you. Oh my gosh, you got mental health issues. Okay, stay away from me. Or that guy's a bit mentally disturbed. He's got some issues. Don't talk to him. Don't talk to her. They've got issues. Or don't tell me I'm not an expert. Go see an expert. Right? Or you will see, and a lot of people see this, where once they start opening up, then a lot of people, their close loved ones, not all of them are as close. Some of them keep a distance, or they will start comforting you extra. Oh, you poor thing. Oh, you poor thing. Like as if you really, really like something. It's really negative. It's an embarrassment. It's a humiliation. It's degrading to our community, degrading to our social circle, degrading to our family network. Right? It's an embarrassment. It's a humiliation. It's a weakness. Don't discuss mental health issues. It's a weakness, or don't come near me. Right? Because I don't want that weakness. This is the understanding of a lot of people of mental health. Yeah, on the other hand, a lot of people are open to mental health. A lot of people are welcoming. A lot of people are have a lot of empathy, right? But at the same time, there is still a lot of work to be done, a lot of awareness to be raised, because mental health is completely okay and it's completely normal and natural, just as normal it is for you to be under the weather and feel, oh, I've got a bit of a temperature today, I've got a cough, cold, whatever. It is absolutely normal to have mental health challenges for men and for women. Yes, for men as well, because many, many men out there will say, well, I'm a man, I don't have any mental health issues and, I'm absolutely fine. Or, people will say, you're a man, man up, deal with it, be a man, grow up, get out of it, snap out of it. Because as a man, you don't have these issues, right? And you have all of these things, X, Y, Z. Yet, it's absolutely nothing wrong with it. It is absolutely normal and completely as it's part of nature, right? It is completely okay. So if you or anyone is seems as if they've got something on their plate, then just be a lending ear for them. Be a lending shoulder for them. Put out your hand for them. Let them know that it's okay for you to talk to them, right? Or rather for them to talk to you. How do you identify if someone has mental health issues, right? So I'm gonna share with you a few symptoms of how to identify. It is not an exhaustive list. You can go online and you can find so much more information out there. So it is not an exhaustive list, right? And it's not every one of these symptoms will be apparent. You have to tick all of them. It might be one of them, it might be some of them, right? It might be a mixture of them, it might be none of them, it might be something else, right? As I said, this is not an exhaustive list. There are many, many others, an exhaustive list, and so many others you can find online. But just some, common ones. If they are unusually quiet, if they're unusually loud, even if they are unusually withdrawn and reserved, or if they're not so laughing so much, or if they're not integrating so much socially as they normally do. Or on the other hand, if they are overtly or excessively loud and really high energy, right? If they don't feel like going out, if they don't feel like, even having that phone call, if they don't feel like talking, or if they are, very to themselves, very withdrawn, if you feel excessively tired and you feel loss of energy, that, what, I just haven't got any energy, and these are small mundane tasks that I was always able to do, but now I haven't got any energy, right? Or if you're really quite nervous and scared about how things in the future may unfold with the current times, with your job, with your health, or etc. If you might start panicking and shaking, if you might start sweating, right? If you might start shaking, trembling, if you might also, something else, if you express a lot of anger, a burst of anger, right? If you express burst of anger, could be with your friends, relatives, work colleagues, could be with the shopkeeper, could be with whoever. If you express excessive bursts of anger, right? Because then you've got things that are going on. You've got anger, you've got frustration, you've got stress. If you are overly or underly, so excessively too much, or not enough, if you're not eating enough, or if you're eating too much, if you're not sleeping enough, or if you're sleeping too much, either of these. If you're resulting to any other bad habits, if you're resulting to anything else that's unusual, and again, the list is not exhaustive. There are many, many other signs and symptoms, but these are just a few of the common ones, just a few to highlight, right? So if you or anyone you know is experiencing anything as such, please reach out to them. Or even yourself, please reach out. And where can you reach out? You can reach out to family, you can reach out to friends, you can reach out to your work colleagues, to your boss. Even if you're a boss, you can reach out to your employees, right? Because at the end of the day, everyone is a human being before they are your boss or your employee. They are a human being before they are your family, before your relatives, before whatever, right? Reach out to your relatives. If you can't reach out to your relatives for whatever reason, reach out to a friend, reach out to your boss, reach out to your employee, your fellow colleagues, or your employees if you are the boss. And if you can't reach out to any of those, you could just be going for a walk in the park and you could just strike a conversation with someone, in the park, just talking about simple, trivial things, breaking the ice. And then you could just be talking about how you're feeling, how they're feeling, and maybe slowly open up, right? And you don't know who will be listening, because people in these times are so much more empathetic than they have been before, because people are so much more aware. But then again, they are aware of, because of the pandemic, of how a lot of people were going through stuff, and people, or on the other hand, you might see people who are reserved, and you might think they're reserved and withdrawn because they find that they can't open up to anyone. Slowly help them open up, give them space, give them comfort, always give them supporting words, right? Give them supporting words and comfort them, and telling them that they are brave and strong, right? No matter what they're going through. And if they're going through something and they haven't discussed it and open up, they are very brave and strong, right? And when eventually they do open up, right? Even if it's not with yourself, even if they tell you that, yeah, I spoke to someone and it really helped, then again, acknowledge and commend them that they are very brave and strong for opening up. So either way, they are still very brave and strong, right? Because it takes a lot of courage to go through mental health challenges and not tell anyone and not talk about it. And it takes even more so courage in many cases to actually open up about it, right? So either way, you are very, very courageous. Every single one of you is out there, even if you feel you have no mental health challenges right now. And that's totally okay. because you don't have to. Not every person doesn't have mental health challenges at every moment of the day, and that's totally okay. But at some point in your life, on more than one occasion, we all have mental health challenges, and that is again totally okay, right? And it doesn't matter what culture you're, what religion you're, what background you're, and in fact, all major religions, right? All major religions in the world today encourage well-being, right? Well-being and self-care. They all encourage well-being and self-care because why? From the religious perspective, your body, your mind, your being is a vessel. It is a gift from God, right? It is a gift from your Creator, whatever your faith, right? Wherever you're listening, whether you're listening in your car, whether you're listening at home, at work, or sitting on the beach, right? Wherever you're listening from, my dear listeners, right? There is an element, a religious element here, a faith perspective that your body is a gift from God, right? And to take care of it as much as you can is a duty, is a responsibility. Yes, we can have health issues and things happen and things are beyond our control. And that's okay, right? But you do what you can, when you can, however you can. And that's the most important part. Now, are you doing what you can, when you can, how you can? And sometimes you won't be able to, but then when you get back up again, then you pick yourself up and then you continue. Because this is how things are in nature. This is human nature. We will continue doing things. We will stop, and then we might collapse. We might break. We might fall. We might take a little break, or whatever the reason, whatever the situation. And then when we can, build up that strength, and we start up again. Right? Very, very powerful. And all religions encourage, right? It really encourages you to take care of your own health and your own well-being and your self-care. They really emphasize this in all their different ways, in their different quotes and their different texts and so forth. There is something in all major religions of the world that encourages you to take care of your health and your well-being and your self-care. So on that note, my dear listeners, my dear sisters and brothers of other mothers, it is absolutely even more so imperative, if you feel that you are religious and you have an attachment to a religion, faith, culture, or even a belief in God, right? Then take care of your health. Take care of your health, your physical well-being and your mental well-being, right? Because no one else will do it for you. If you needed someone to come and watch your kids for an hour, or you had to go out somewhere, or you were going to go to something or whatever, and you needed someone to watch the kids, that could be arranged, whether it's family, friend, relative, or childminder or whatever. But you can't have someone coming from outside taking care of your health, eating the right food for you so it impacts you, having the right exercise for you so it impacts you, sleeping the right amount for you, but the impact is felt on yourself, right? It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. You have to do it yourself. Only you can take care of your physical health. Only you can take care of your mental health. Only you can take care of your emotional health. Only you can take care of your spiritual health. No one else can do that for you, right? And even more so, because no one can do it how you can do it, right? No one can do it how you can do it. And that's the thing. And that's what makes it so special, because you are very special. Every single one of you, and you personally, who is listening to this right now, right? Yes, you, whether you're standing, whether you're sitting, whether you're walking, or whether you're running, whatever you're doing, or you're working out and you're listening to this, whatever you're doing, right? Talking to you now specifically, you are responsible for your mental health, right? And know that it is absolutely okay, my dear sister, my dear brother, my dear sisters and brothers of other mothers. I'm talking to you specifically now, It is absolutely imperative that you open up about your mental health to someone. And if you don't find a family, friend, relative, boss, work colleague, or employee, or someone in the park, there are many, many charities that you can phone, right? Free phone charities in the UK, right? You can go and you can ring them and you can talk to your heart's content. Talk and let it out. Because as they say, a problem shared is a problem halved, right? So there are many, many charities, for example, Samaritans, Mind, right? And many others. Again, not an exhaustive list because I've only mentioned these two of the major ones, but there are many other major ones. And regardless, major or minor charities, there are many other support services out there for you to ring up and gain that help, right? And if you are not going through mental health challenges yourself, or even whether you are, you might have someone who might approach you and talk to you. So always give words of comfort, always give words of strength, words of encouragement, words of support, right? Words of commendation, commending what they've done, acknowledge the goodness in them, acknowledge even the small goodness, even if you don't know them, right? Excuse me. Because every individual is a special human being. Every individual is a powerful human being. Every individual is a gift to the planet. Why? Because no two people are the same, whether you are a twin, a triplet, quadruplet, whatever, right? And you're completely identical in height, height, weight, shape, looks, your dress, whatever, right? However you dress, however you look on the outside, and you all look the same, you are completely different people, and you are all a unique gift to the planet. We all know from the birds and the bees, right, that when the egg reaches a sperm, there are millions, literally millions of eggs that don't reach. Sorry, millions of sperm that do not reach the egg. Only one reaches the egg out of those millions. And that one that reaches the egg is you, right? And that one egg, that one sperm that reached the egg is you, who's listening to this right now, who's watching this. So you are born a gold medalist amongst not just hundreds, not just thousands, but millions of other potential people. You were on the finishing line. You passed the finishing line before any of them, the moment you were conceived, right? So you are born a gold medalist, my dear listeners, my dear sisters and brothers of other mothers. You are born a champion amongst millions of others. Millions, right? And there's how many billions of people on the planet? I've lost count. 7, 10, 12, whatever. But the point is that now, this is just in this time. Look at how many people from the first person on the planet to however many people there have been in the millions of years that the planet have been around. To from the first human being until however long until the last human being, you will have millions of billions and billions of people on the planet, right? And for each billions and billions of person on the planet, there were millions and millions of other potential people that could have made it and been on the planet instead of each individual here today. But you were meant to be here because you are a gold medalist. You are born a champion, right? You are born a champion, and how you live the rest of your life is up to you. How you've already lived the rest of your life or your many years that have passed, right? Whether you could change them or not, whether you could influence them or not, whether it was your fault or not, it doesn't matter. What only matters is about how you're going forward. That is all that matters, my dear listeners, my dear sisters and brothers of other mothers. That is all that matters, is how you are going forward, right? Whether it's in your health, in your wealth, in your business, in your finance, in your relationships, in your spirituality, in your faith. or in your mental health, right? How are you going forward is what matters. That's what matters, right? Because life is not a race. It's not about the first one who gets to the finishing line. Although you were born the gold medalist, and it was a race of who was the first to get the finishing line to the egg, right? But now life is a marathon. It's not how long it takes you to get there, right? It's about you keep going and going and going and going. That's what matters. That is what matters about how you keep going, not about what happened yesterday, not about the mistakes that you made, not about what he did, what she did, what they did, or what they should have done, or what they should not have done. That doesn't matter. You can't change any of that. What can you do? You can only take lessons from any negativity or any mistakes or any quote unquote failures. Because in coaching, there are no failures, there is only feedback. And that's what makes it so powerful, my dear listeners, my dear sisters and brothers of other mothers, right? It is all about how you are going forward. How are you going forward from now, right? How you're going forward. And it starts from not from your physically the actions that you're taking, because your actions are as a result of what you're saying to yourself, what you're feeling, and your emotions and your feelings and your thoughts. And it's as a result of what you're saying to yourself and the thoughts that you're focusing on, which is what? Your mental health, right? So it's all about your mental health. And you have the power to turn it around, right? It's not going to change overnight, but you have the power to turn it around, right? You might be able to do that on your own, but it's totally okay and totally normal if you need help. And most likely, a lot of people do need help, right? In some shape or form, right? Whether that's just speaking to someone and just offloading, or a friend or a relative and just having that, pep talk, so to speak. Whether it's just, or seeing a therapist, right? Whether it's seeing a counselor, whether it's seeing a coach, it doesn't matter who you go to, right? It's not set in black and white that you can only go to this person or that expert or that support service. There are a lot of people out there to support you, organizations, charities. And in fact, even your own family, friends, and relatives are out there, right? And a lot of people might be, have the might have the hesitance, be hesitant in, actually, I'm going to be judged by them. I don't want to tell them. What if I tell them and it spreads, or I tell some friends or relatives, or I tell other counselors, even in this area, in my locality, and what if things spread, right? Or I go to the local whoever, and if things do spread, people have that. You will be surprised. Even though as counselors, you're not allowed to share information due to data protection, right? And obviously the confidentiality, but clients still have that. They still have those thoughts and that taboo and that thinking that what if things in my locality spread and they get out, or accidentally someone knows, right? What if? And as a result, they will then speak to people outside their locality, or people who don't know them at all, right? Or people who don't know them, don't know their local area, don't know anyone in that area, and they would speak to them. They could live in the south of the UK, south of England, and they'll end up speaking to someone in the north of England, like 100 miles away or 200 miles away, because they don't want anyone else to find out. It doesn't matter who you speak to, right? What matters is, my dear listeners, my dear sisters and brothers of other mothers, what matters is that you speak to someone. And know, just to, as a reminder again, and sum up as we have come to the end of today's show, is that you speak to someone, you reach out, because your environment, you can change your environment, right? If you're always at home, go out, go for a walk, set an outdoor activity, outdoor hobby, going in the gardening, outdoor sports, outdoor, or just going for a walk or going for a jog or whatever. right? Whatever you do, go outdoors, go into nature. When was the last time you absorbed yourself in nature, right? Go out into nature, absorb the freshness, absorb the naturalness. Go where there's water, to a lake or to a river, and feel that and really absorb that nature, the sound. And there's research showing that when you're in amongst a body of water, a waterfall, a river flowing, or a lake, or whatever, then it helps you calm down, because we are like 80% water, something like that, right? 75, 80%, or maybe a little more, a little less. We are majority as human beings, we are made up of water. And when you're in calm, relaxing water, it automatically, naturally relaxes you. So go near nature, go near water if you can, right? Go out. If you're having meetings, work meetings, if you're at work or even at home, have them outdoors, either in your garden if you're working from home, or if you're at work, have them outdoors if you have an outdoor space, right? Small changes make a huge difference, and they release, combination of these activities and exercises release dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins, right? Do something new, do something different. Have maybe even plants at home, have flowers, right, at home, inside your house, outside, or in your garden if you're able to. And that itself can be very, very therapeutic. Yeah. So, my dear listeners, my dear sisters and brothers of other mothers, I trust you have found benefit in the show. Please, please share this, as this is live on Facebook and YouTube. Share the link with others. If you've only just tuned in or missed most of it, go back and watch it again, right? And whatever benefit you find, please share it with others, right? And on that note, so it all comes down to spirituality, and to bind everything together. Um, you know, to the month of spirituality has ended, and we have now the celebrations of Eid tomorrow, or it's most likely tomorrow. And so Eid Mubarak to you and your families, my dear sisters and brothers of other mothers, to your loved ones. And let us at this time, please remember, pray in our prayers those who are suffering in India, suffering in Palestine, suffering in Syria, suffering anywhere in the world, in any cause or any issue or any situation, suffering through their health, through their circumstances, or being innocently killed, or innocently being attacked in any way, or innocently losing their lives, or any discomfort and difficulties and struggles we're going through. Let us pray for the entire world, right? Because there's so much going on. We need global world peace right now. So thank you so much, my dear sisters and brothers of other mothers. Jazakallahu khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You've been listening to Ramadan Radio, Mubashir Latif on the Mindset Show. Assalamu alaikum.